And now for the final lesson of this entire course, and hopefully you've enjoyed the journey, let's talk about managing your growth. Because hopefully if you follow all the steps in this process and we have everything go our way, we're going to start bringing in some traffic, bringing in some customers and making a bunch of money and then hopefully growing it and scaling it. So when that starts happening, let's talk about how we manage the growth and some things I want you to keep in mind because it can get overwhelming. And the amount of money you make, and I think the success that you're going to have in your business and these projects that you build is really going to come down to how you manage yourself and your time and some other things. Let's talk about that. So, how to manage your growth. You will eventually need help if you start to grow, plain and simple. The most powerful leverage point in business to make money is leveraging labor. There's nobody that's gone out and made tons and tons and tons of money and built a huge business just by themselves. Yes, there are one-person businesses that can do well, but ultimately, if you want to maximize the opportunity of whatever you're building, you need help. So don't be afraid to take on some people, to hire some outsourcers at first, all of course based on your budget. And then of course, maybe regular employees if they can kind of take some of the work off your plate and help you free up some more of your time to focus on more important things. Don't be afraid to delegate. Don't be afraid to get some help. Really, that's really how you make a lot of money. So many people get in the internet business. They're like, oh, I would never have employees. I would do everything myself. That's why I got into this business, for the lifestyle. Well, you can still have an amazing lifestyle, everything that you want, but and have people working for you. And it's not that hard these days to manage people, especially remotely using, any of those project management tools we talked about or some communications tools like Skype or even just email. It's easy to manage people. And you can even have a team leader, a right-hand person. That's what I have. They're primarily the only person I deal with. They manage everyone else. So there are all kinds of ways to solve those problems if they're even problems for you. So keep that in mind. You are going to need help if you start to grow. Now, you want your business to grow week to week without you. Okay? If you were to get sick or God forbid something really happened to you or even death, you don't want the business to just die. Certainly it's terrible for your family if they're left behind without you and then the business just goes away because without you, the business doesn't do anything. But let's use the example if you were sick. If you were sick and you just burned out, which all of us entrepreneurs reach burnout at some point, which is, oh gosh, I'm working so many hours. I need a break. I need a hiatus, I need to take a month off or 2 or 3 weeks off. I just need to breathe. Well, does your business still grow without you? That's a question you need to ask yourself. Does your business grow if you stop working on it personally? Will it continue to grow? Well, in most people's businesses, I'd say 90% of entrepreneurs, the answer is no. And in many ways, not only does it grow, it starts to shrivel up and die. If someone's not actively working on their business, plugging away, and by the way, I call that hustling, not business building. It's a difference between money making and profit building. The hustle, where you're just doing these little things and it's just you, and if you stop, the money stops. Well, you want to build a business that will grow week to week without you. And this only happens with a team. It only happens when you have other people doing things to make it work. So if you go on vacation, someone's monitoring the pay-per-click advertising. They're managing that for you, or they're managing the Facebook ads, or they're managing adding new content to a blog for it to, increase prospect relationships as well as to get more traffic from search engines. Whatever it is, you're hiring people to go out there and manage getting other experts to produce content that you license from them to then sell as your own product online. You're working with someone that's managing the programmers for software or a SaaS tool that you're having made. Whatever the case is, your business is growing with you not being there day to day. That's where you want to get it. That's where the magic really happens. And of course, you still want to work on the business. It's fun, but you want to set your business up to grow without you. Now, you must do a great job at managing your time, or you're not going to have fun or you're not going to make a lot of money. So you constantly have to ask yourself this question. Is there anything that someone else can do that I'm currently doing? What am I doing that someone else can do? So I like the exercise of draw a pie chart and, draw a circle and cut out pieces of the pie representing percentages, and the whole circle being 100% of where you're spending your time every month. Put a sliver managing buying traffic, putting a sliver making products, putting a sliver doing customer support, make a sliver, whatever, managing my kids. You can do a pie without your personal stuff, or you can combine it all. It doesn't matter. But start figuring out how you can delegate slices of the pie to get that percentage of time back. You should ideally only be working on, one, the things you really enjoy in your business and that you feel that you're good at. And two, the things that most have the biggest effect on the bottom line in your business that will make you the most money. Usually that's strategy. Now, the more you also get those decisions out of the way that we talked about before and setting up the infrastructure, what tool you're going to use for this, what, service you'll use for this. If you ever do need outsourcing, where you're going to go to place that, post that job. Get all those decisions out of the way. That the decisions are really your biggest factor in holding you back from making money. So the more those decisions you get out of the way, the more you can be left with just focusing on generating traffic, converting the traffic, and of course the product side of the business. New ideas for products, or actually creating the product if you're going to be doing that yourself. But you get down to the basics: traffic, conversion, products. That's what this whole business is. And, I would also add in content in there as well, because, having the sales pages, having the follow-up emails, that's content that has to be created. But those are the core sections. And so we need to really just get it down to just worrying about those, not the tech tools that we'll use, not the service or technique to do this or that. So we need to get it down to those things. Determine your reinvestment strategy. Now, if you're transitioning from a job where you're going to have a business support you, then you're going to have to take profit from the business every month to pay for your livelihood, because you got to pay rent and all the other stuff going on in your life. But when you get to a point where you're generating a pretty good amount of money above and beyond your basic life expenses and your basic savings building, you're going to want to figure out what percentage of that money you're going to reinvest every month, because that's going to allow you to do website acquisitions, license more products, to do other things, buy more traffic, and really scale and grow the business. So you want to keep that in mind. What's your reinvestment strategy? Even if you're not making any money now, start thinking ahead. If I get to 10 grand a month in profit, how much money can I have there to reinvest in the business? Or if I just get to 5,000 a month, do I have much there to reinvest to help it grow? So if I get to 100,000 a month, how much will I be willing to reinvest? So figure that out. Do an honest assessment with yourself of your strengths and weaknesses, likes and dislikes. Be real honest. What are you good at? What are you terrible at when it comes to all of this stuff? Are you terrible at writing copy? Well, that just tells you find someone to do it for you. Don't even mess with it. Or do you hate doing it? Don't do it anymore. See if you can find someone to do it for you. What are you good at? And what you're good at and what you like aren't necessarily the things you should be working on. You should be working on a combination of things you're good at and that you like to do, but that affect the bottom line the most, that will bring you in the most money. So don't lose sight of that. If you're good at graphics, making graphics in Photoshop, I can tell you right now, even if you're good at it and even if you love it, that's not the best use of your time, because doing all the technical things, all the elements of the business, like graphics, all those things, that doesn't give you anywhere near the highest return per hour for your time. The money's in the marketing, in the strategy. That's what you should be doing as a business owner. Now, maybe it's therapeutic, maybe it's a great hobby, maybe you love to do artwork. Well, if that's the case, sure, make your own logos, make your own graphic design, do your own programming, whatever those things are for you. But I'm telling you, the more you do of that and less of strategy and marketing, the less money you're going to make. Now, always stay focused on the 80-20 rule. That has been a consistent theme throughout this whole course. The Pareto principle. 20% of efforts in anything will produce 80% of the results. We always need to stay focused on that. Incremental changes each week lead to huge increases in profit. Always be split testing new versions, always be trying new things, always be making small little tweaks and changes to the business, from the landing page to the sales page to the follow-up sequences, everything. And you'll find over time you're going to really ramp up your profits and make more and more money. Never get married. I mentioned this. Don't ever get married to a specific business project. There are so many opportunities out there for you that you can make money from, online doing this process. Don't fall in love with one thing. Oh, I'm going to do a survival business like that other survival business I found. And if it's not working or you're not getting the results, you get frustrated. You're like, oh, I know I can make this work. And you just keep spending time on it and money on it. And it's just not working. Look, if things aren't working quickly, again, one of our core themes, our core principles of speed, if one of them is not working quickly after giving it an honest effort and after properly troubleshooting it with what we've talked about and how to kind of figure out if it's not working, if it's not, if we can't get people to opt in, if we can't get, conversion, it's probably our sales copy, or a bad traffic source. But we really need to consider when we just need to, as my dad used to say, fish or cut bait. You just move on. And so know when to quit a project and when to move on. Because there's so many ways out there for you to make great money and reach all your goals, I believe, and what you want for your life, move quickly and never be afraid to get out of one project and get into another if it's not panning out for you. That's very, very important. And of course, if in doubt, just do what they do. Never forget to fall back to that. If in doubt, do what the competitors are doing as closely as possible. It's important to reward yourself along the way. I'm a big believer in this. We talked about earlier in this course about when you do something and you start getting some good results, there's this magical connection in your brain of, hey, this works. And I think it's very, very powerful. When you start taking action, even if it's small, and you get a few visitors to click on an ad, you start getting a couple of people to opt into a list. You get one person to buy something that made you $10 in commission. The process is working, and you're seeing that it's working, and your brain knows that it's working. That's incredibly powerful. Well, the next level of that is rewarding yourself. I believe every step of your progress, every time you're getting results, even if you're not making tons of money, but you're starting, you threw up some new ad campaigns, you got a little bit of traffic coming in, you got a couple of sales. When you start doing things that start getting more and more results in your business, reward yourself. Take you and your wife out to dinner if you're married, and even if it's not an expensive dinner, and say, honey, I want to take you out for dinner. Or if you're the wife and you have a husband, take your husband out. But tell your significant other, hey, I want to go out and celebrate with you. I worked hard on my business. I got some positive results doing some tests. It's important for us to have this little meal, do a little cheers with our drinks and celebrate that, things are progressing. It's very important. And of course, as you get bigger and bigger results, I like to go with bigger and bigger rewards. Buy yourself that new car when you start making $100,000 or more. Move into a better place. Go on a vacation. Do nice things for yourself as your business grows. Don't just hoard and stockpile all the money and be, tight about it all. Spend some of the money on yourself. You deserve it. You worked hard for it, and nothing will help you, I believe. It's been the case in my life. Nothing helps you step up your game and go to higher and higher levels of making more and more money than having your life actually change along the way. Having a better lifestyle. I hate to say it, but acquiring more things, or at least in some way having better experiences of driving a nicer car, or being able to do better things, nicer things for your family or for your kids or for your parents or whatever you want to do. But those rewards, those getting those things for yourself, your brain's connecting to all that. I work hard, I see that it works, and then I see that my life gets better. I see that I go out and I celebrate my success, or I at least celebrate the hard work. I celebrate the results. Very key. I can't stress that enough. I'm a big believer in that. Last but not least, I want to say thank you. A personal thank you. To wrap up this course, I just want to tell you personally, I appreciate your business so much. I always try to treat my customers like gold. I hope you've gotten hundreds of times your investment in this class and value. I hope you go and put this stuff to use. I hope you have great success. Of course, I hope you keep in touch with me. Share with me, how you're doing. I don't care if it's a year from now. Email me, let me know how you're doing. I would love to celebrate your success with you. It makes me just as happy and fulfilled to hear from my students when they start doing well. A couple of years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, I taught a class like this that was about apps. It was about doing mobile apps and specifically kind of doing games and things. It's a business I used to be in, I got out of. That market's kind of changed a bit. It's a lot more competitive, not as much low-hanging fruit. But at the time I taught the class, there were so many tremendous opportunities, more than I think there are today. Because again, I think it's a little harder today. Doesn't mean you can't become a millionaire with apps today. I don't mean to say that. There's always money to be made in every market. But things were a little different. Anyways, I taught this course. I taught this class on app building. This young guy went from literally being in debt to banking and saving over $1 million in a matter of several months. And of course, he busted his ass. He worked very hard. He did a lot of hard work, but he basically followed what I taught in the class. And of course, did some of his own ideas as well. And he created some amazing results. And I just loved reading this email from him where he said, "Hey, I got to tell you, here's an update." I think it was 6 months or a year later. I got, or at least the big update from him, and he said, "I can't thank you enough. Here's how my life has changed. Here's where I was when I started, and here's where I am now, and it's just changed mine and my family's lives completely, and our lives forever are changed. And I can't thank you enough." And I love getting the email so much, and I made a point to confirm with him and reaffirm him and say, "Hey, I appreciate you so much thanking me. And I appreciate you so much, giving me credit for helping you. But ultimately, all the credit, or 99% of it, goes to you for taking action, actually doing this stuff and working and getting the results. I can only kind of help you and give you guidance, but nothing happens in your life unless you do it." So anyways, I would love to hear from you as you put this stuff to work and hopefully start getting some great results. And I truly believe that this course has outlined a process for you that can create some big success in your business life. But ultimately, it's now up to you. I hate to say it. I've spoken at conferences before. I love to tell people, it's a little trick I got from a chemistry teacher in college. By the way, I failed chemistry twice, hated that class. But he basically said, "Hey, look to your left, look to your right. Only one of you in this will pass this course." I say that to people often at seminars when I've done speaking in the past. Look to your left, look to your right. The odds are that only one of you is actually going to have success, because only one of you is going to do what it takes to take action to do it. So I hope every one of you that have gone through this course are going to take action, and don't waste, of course, the investment you made to even be in this class. But of course, the time you've probably taken to go through all these exercises and lessons and learn all this stuff. But it's up to you now. So no more additional money comes into your life without action from you. There's not a truer statement when it comes to business. So, anyways, if you haven't gone through everything, if you've skipped around and gotten to this part, go back. Even if you've gone through all the lessons, maybe anytime you can go back. You can download all these videos and own them for life, as well as all the handouts, and use it for yourself as reference. You can always go back to it. A lot of the stuff that I just taught you throughout this course will be valid 10 years from now, maybe even 20 years from now. A lot of the fundamentals in competitive research and competitive intelligence will stay the same for many, many, many years, maybe even forever. So lots of valuable information that you can glean from this later if you ever need to come back to certain sections or pick up new tips again. But I hope, if you haven't gone through everything, that you do go through all the lessons and go through all the exercises, because it's only going to benefit you in the end, of course, and really, really help your business. Of course, I'm biased, but I really, truly believe that. So again, thank you so much for going through this course with me. And I hope you follow the steps and start getting some great results. And of course, don't forget about me. I hope you contact me, and I hope you let me know about how you're doing. And hopefully, I can't wait to read your emails on how business life has changed for you and how your personal life has changed as a result of you taking action and getting some great results from your efforts. Thank you so much.